knowing what you know about social media now, are you glad that you went through a school experience without social media, or do you feel like that could have even enhanced a college experience for you?
I think
Because like those kids are connected more than ever.
Oh yeah, I think for me, like Facebook. I remember freshman year at Grove, Facebook was just branching out beyond like the Ivy Leagues. So like they started and it was just a small number of schools, and then they started opening them up to other schools, and you could like petition to get on the Facebook. I think is what it was called at that time.
Yeah.
The Facebook. And so it was new enough for us that I don't think a lot of the negatives had really it hadn't become a cultural phenomenon like it is now for kids. So I think it was, if it had been a little bit more immersive during my college experience, I don't think it would have hurt me. But I can't, like, I think of it a lot now because of Owen and Ezra. And I talk to a lot of my pediatrician friends and just people that are dealing with even youth pastors and just but people that are interacting with just this generation that's growing up like with social media from day one.
Yeah, it's almost impossible. We have 10-year-olds that are addicted to social media at 10.
Yeah.
And it's because, they've had it since they were 8, and like they've just never known technology without it. Like technology to them is social media, which is interesting.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of kids don't even know how to use a computer. Like they just use phones and tablets and like they don't know how to type. They just, but like, and that, I mean, psychologically to me, that's a world that I don't know, and I don't want to be overly judgy and just say, because I think every generation does that. And they're like, the kids these days, like, wait till they get older, then they'll learn why all their crap is wrong. And it's like, you were wrong, and like you're outdated, and things change.
Yeah, and like the next generation is going to further so many things that your generation just never could.
That didn't. They're going to build on top of your successes, and they're going to,
and it's going to be incredible.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think I was super fortunate to be on the cutting edge of the internet generation. Like I graduated grade school in 2000.
Did you grow up with the internet in like your house?
In 5th grade, we got a computer that had dial-up.
Yeah, right.
And
as long as no one's using a phone,
right?
You could
in like 7th grade,
we were Yahoo search something.
Right, we were doing like AIM Instant Messenger in like 7th grade. Like
yeah.
And I think by 7th or 8th grade, everyone pretty much had broadband. But yeah, I grew up like there were no online video games. Like I was at the cutting edge of like, I mean, I was doing the original Xbox LAN parties where you'd like bring LANs to,
that's right,
bring Xboxes to each other's house.
Yeah. And
grab multiple like big rear projection TVs and like, like, yeah. So, I remember. And so now it's just so pervasive everywhere, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, but it's just so different. And I think, people are trying to figure that out. What that means.
I think communication wise, it's just become more creative, but it's like, I mean, our kids certainly lack a level of communication that you develop without technology. However, I feel like just inventive wise and the progression of technology and the progression of how our country is like sustaining itself is incredible, just because of how connected people actually are nowadays through social media, or just through how so many people our age and younger have developed things to actually have people connect, which is crazy. But I feel like there's been a sacrifice of real communication. However, I don't think we've seen the results of that. Like, I don't know if we ever will, or if we'll ever. We might just always be okay with the progression that we're going to more and more technologically based, because if our country's growing and if things are just getting better and people are making more money, like, why would we stop what we're doing? So I don't know if we'll ever stop to actually look at the communication results, but it's interesting. Like for your kids, for example, have you guys talked about, like, this is what we want them to be social media wise, this is what we want to allow with who they're interacting with online. Like, do you guys discuss that at age, your oldest is at age 5?
Right.
Or is that not even in the cards of discussing it?
I think we talked about just like what the gateways are going to be, because I think until they have a device, you can control
regulate it pretty well.
I mean, what are they going to do? Like go to their friends' houses and get on a social media thing?
Yeah,
like,
right.
I mean, until they have their own device, I'm assuming, and maybe I'm ignorant here, but I'm assuming that's a level of control that I can kind of measure. And so I think we're going to be pretty careful about when that is and what that is. Like, I wouldn't be surprised at all if we tried to do like a dumb phone, like even if we have to pay extra for it. Like,
sure.
Like, as long as we can.
Sure.
Honestly, like I want him to have a phone so I can connect with him, and if he's at friends' houses or whatever. But like, I don't want him to have the internet on it. I don't want him to have social media on it.
I have a few friends where their oldest kids or oldest child has just a smartwatch that it's like, okay, you can text, or you can like alert, or you can send small voice memos, but that's about it.
Right.
Which is like what else does a child need?
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah. Like I want
not that social media is meant to be bad, but it's like it's not necessary in the life of really anybody.
Yeah.
Especially, I would say, a child.
Yeah, I mean, when I was growing up, it was like, even in high school, it was the like call collect, and then you have that 3 seconds of like, give us your name. That was the message you got. So it was like, you had a 3 second, I'm at the gym, pick me up, please now. It's like, you have a message from I'm at the gym, pick me up, please now. And mom would be like, okay, I'm going to go grab Dustin. He's at the gym.
Right.
And like, that's all they need is 2 or 3 seconds of like, I just need a status. And they like, I've seen those smartwatches where like it's got GPS on it, it's got LTE on it, so it's on a cell network. Yeah. And I can ping it and see where he is at any time. So if it's a security thing, like I know where he is. And I would think, I don't know, I don't want to be naive, but I hope maybe even till like through middle school, junior high, that would be like either a dumb phone or like a smartwatch with a dumb phone combo or something. But I don't know. Like I think really what's going to be the instigator for that is Owen, like when he's coming to us and being like, hey, all my friends have it. I'm missing out. I'm right. I want this really bad. And then it's going to be a hard thing for us because like, I don't want him to be the only kid that's not on the thing that everybody else is on.
Sure. Yeah. It's tough. So, it's tough when you're like, okay, so you're not, overtly competing with other parents, but in a way you are, because your child is seeing what another child has, which is directly given to from the parent. So yeah, that's interesting. Do you ever, I don't know, again, you probably aren't at this age yet. I wonder if like parents ever go to other parents and are like, listen, can you make sure your kid doesn't bring their phone out around my kid, because they just can't stop asking.
I'm sure they do.
Yeah.
And I don't think I ever will.
Right.
Just because I'm so much like a free market kind of, you're going to do what you're going to do. And it's not my job to judge you, and you can make the parenting decisions that you're going to make. And some of those might negatively impact my kid, but I'm going to control what I can control, which is training my kid to handle whatever your kid's going to do to them. Yeah. But I'm not going to be like telling you how to parent like around my kid or whatever. Like that's just a slippery slope. Yeah, sure. Because then where does that stop? Right. And parenting is so hard. It's harder than anything else in the world, and there's 1,000 things that go into it. And so when you start getting into a position of like judging other parents, you just like, you don't understand their story. You don't understand like why they're doing what they're doing. And it's like you're in line at daycare with a mom, and you're talking about how much you hate screen time or something, and she's like, yeah, well, I'm a single mom and I have 3 kids, and sometimes I got to put them on screens. And you're like, holy crap. Yeah, of course you do. Sense.
Right.
What
right,
else are you
right.
going to do? Of course. And I just spent 5 minutes of my anti-screen tirade, and now I'm a jackass.
Yeah, right.
You know,
Man.
So you don't know people's story, you don't know their circumstances, and you know, I think you just have to operate like being a parent. I just have to operate on the assumption that people love their kids, and until I see like definitive signs of abuse or something like that, then you just operate on that assumption,
Right. Right.
and then do the best you can with your kids.
Yeah. How many do you guys plan on having? Is that a discussion, or is that just kind of like whatever?
I would
happens,
love
happens?
to have two, but I guess this is going to be on the
which you currently have.
Yeah.
So this will be on the internet.
Yeah, this is going to be on the internet. So we'll see how this holds up, how this ages. But yeah, 2 or 3 maybe.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's
cool.
It's bittersweet. I mean, kids are the best, and they also are. They just fundamentally change your life. You know, and so every time you add another one, it continues.
Right.
Like it fundamentally changes it again, and it continues that